Happy Tuesday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang practice session, where you will learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this Satsang session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we achieve high states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang, where we meditate in silence. Group session. These practice sessions are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment, peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English, and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and happy Tuesday. So today, there were some questions that were asked in one of my radio interviews. So I'll just take one of those. Let's run through that, and then we'll practice as usual. So I think the question was around the role of community in spiritual growth, and how important is the role of community in someone's spiritual growth, and how can one find or build such a community. And this is, I think I was traveling and I kind of jotted some notes. So, you know, hopefully I'll have an edited version later, but this is probably more raw form. So community or family, or call it a spiritual family, first and foremost aspect of satsang is, group session like this. Ideally in-person sessions have collective energy, which is, it has a multiplier effect. So over the years, I have attended, satsangs which have thousands of satsangis. And fortunately, I continue to do that, especially mostly in India. And the energy is through the roof. I mean, and I'm not kidding you. It's, it's palpable. So I've personally experienced over and over that multiplier effect that I'm talking about. Those sessions, in those sessions, your inner peace is at a level that individually, I personally think, and I've been, and thanks, Eddie, you always start us off with the overview, and he talks about this group sessions and, how important, and I think it's very important to have an individual practice. Meditation essentially is an individual journey, but group becomes a support system. But satsang, specifically this practice, has a I think in one of the sessions Eddie was talking about how this has been crafted by Guru Maharaj, and it has been going on since 1930. I can almost go out on a limb and say the level that you get, if meditation session takes us at a higher ground, whatever the upliftment that happens in an individual session versus a group session, are starkly different. But I can almost say that individually you cannot attain this level, which I think we'll practice, and you'll probably feel that without a very long, very consistent, and very deep practice. So, so community, group satsangs, phenomenal effect. And then I always, feel that wherever there are a few people, it gets very loud. And imagine thousands of people meditating in silence. I'm telling you, I have like literally felt that it's a miracle in itself. You just thousands of people sitting in silence versus just on a family dinner, a get together at work. The noise level just, it's hard to hear. And satsang, there is a positive backdrop. There is positive energy inside and out. It's a phenomenal impact. So I think the essence of group sessions is the collective energy. And then I think what is a contributor is the individual energy. So we are here to uplift our individual energy, but the way this practice is formulated and put together, the group energy helps in ways that it's very, very hard to put in words. So once you embody the transcendental energy, and what happens then? I mean, then you essentially, if you embody this energy which transcends the world, then you are basically enlightened. You have reached self-realization. So typically when you get to that state, you start serving other humans, other conscious beings, and you know, and in that process, what you're doing is you're sharing this with the energy that you imbibe, you embody with your environment. And literally, it's like eventually it becomes an effortless activity because you embody the energy. Everybody who comes in contact with you or wherever you are, you know, if that's in abundance, it gets shared. Um, so, so you know, so Ramashram Satsang Mathura, which was the, uh, you know, basically, you know, Guru Maharaj could have started a religion or ideology or whatever, but what he said was like, it's a spiritual family, practice together, help each other, and you know, anyone from any region, any caste, creed, religion is welcome. And that's how he promoted it. He never would, you know, people used to come to learn, to be in the group, and he would never ask like, where are you from, who you really are, till, you know, it gets to that point. It was like, uh, you know, even early on, there were like these congregations, these satsangs, or what I call the urban retreats, started having thousands of people, and people would come at will and go. Uh, so everybody was welcome. Everybody, you know, food was served free, etc. So these communities ought to be built by an enlightened person. Enlighten yourself first, then think of stepping into creating a community. Some may disagree, but I can elaborate the reasons to those who, you know, so who builds the community and what meditation practice is done matters. So how deep, how consistent, and how pure is the practice matters. So, you know, and I have talked about this before. When I visit a temple, church, mosque, or monasteries and pagodas, and, you know, as soon as I enter, as soon as I get there effortlessly you get to a certain point of inner peace. So each place has an effect on you. So similar to this, you will find that when you practice here in this group, there is an effect. And, you know, sometimes a lot of people have said like effortlessly, you get in touch with inner peace in ways that they had not done before. So same thing happens there. The deeper, the more effortless level of inner peace is reached at some places, and at some there is hardly any impact. So what I feel is that the one who is the founder or the ones who practice there, their vibe, their energy, their you know, so even you can, and we've talked about this before, even you can assign a place and time for your practice. And if you meditate in the same place over and over, and within few weeks, as soon as you enter that room or sit in that place, you will see that you are getting into a very peaceful mode. Um, so uh, there is an impact. So if a powerful person who embodies this, phenomenal, transcendental, uplifting, positive energy, if they practice there, the chances that uh, you will feel that pretty high. So so essentially, I think the note says that build a community that leads to self-realization, and build it once you have reached that state. So till then, join a community that gives you deep and effortless inner peace. So in Buddhism, there is a saying, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. So first you go in protection of a self-realized, then you join the protection of the community or the spiritual family. And so that those two steps, and there, I think in that verse, there are multiple other things, but that's what I took from there. So I'm also thinking that this year I will pull together. For me, virtual or in person is it's a blurred line. Believe it or not, like my virtual satsang sessions with a lot of people joining from India, which has through the pandemic become a regular daily meditation. That's the traditional Hindi meditation. Lots of people are joining, and lots of families join all together. And so I want to create a community which will, help each other in the practice, uplift each other through this collective energy, and and I think at the end of the day, the community bond should be stronger than any family that is very close knit. So on that note, let's practice and let's connect with this inner peace, inner energy. So let me. So I always use this as the backdrop. So Ashtanga Yoga, which has 8 limbs, 4 of those limbs. So Ashtanga Yoga is like Maharishi Patanjali, who was one of the founders or founding masters of yoga philosophy. He described 8 limbs. So if yoga was a body, he described the 8 limbs of that body, and 4 of them are actually meditational practices. People think it's physical exercises and breathing exercises, but actually those are just 2 elements or 2 limbs out of the 8. The 4 actually are meditative practices. So that's where satsang actually focuses. So inward orientation, its peace is inside, so don't try to search for it outside. For that, you need inward orientation and inward pursuit. And as Eddie was talking about, inner satsang. So this satsang is different in a lot of ways. And one of the things is that it is, there is no outer activity. You focus inwards, and then you try to embody, you try to manifest this transcendental energy. So your dharana or object of concentration is this transcendental energy in form of light. And feel the presence, feel the connection, this transcendental energy in form of light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. So mind wanders away, which it will, bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that transcendental energy in form of light is right here, right now, and it's entering your heart, so enlightening your heart, and then distributing throughout your body. So you are becoming the light. And that's embodying the light. That's where you start. And then you go into deep meditation. So first we start with music that helps concentration, and then music fades away and you go into deep silent meditation on this transcendental energy. And you know, uh, where you actually become the light, where you actually manifest this, you get to these states of higher consciousness or samadhis, and that is just part of the process. So let's start now. So we'll start with music, and the music fades away, and then we go into deep silent meditation. Let's start. So happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope this was a good session for everyone. This is a more interactive session, so you can ask any questions, just unmute or type it in the chat, or feel free to ask anything. It only helps others as well. And I mean, traditionally, satsangs used to have discourses at the end too, but I feel in the online, this is an opportunity to interact a bit. And talking about the community, in India, I think the way satsang was implemented, I think it was very, the interaction, the community feeling was like integral to the experience. Here now, slowly probably we'll get there. But yeah, and yeah, Parul and Rich, Eddie, any before I open up, any thoughts on the whole aspect of community? One more thing that I didn't mention was that I feel there was uh, a there was a report out of the White House on loneliness, and I think being part of a spiritual family, I think, is definitely a good thing from that perspective too. So yeah. So Eddie, Parul, yeah, Parul, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times, but I think satsang is really special because, what we can accomplish as one, we can experience tenfold and so much faster as a group. So I think meditation, especially in this setting, not only do we have a family who we can ask questions to, interact with, but also to have these experiences with a group, it's so much more powerful. And when we come together and we're experiencing these like peaceful moments together, it's really special, especially in satsang, that we get to do this together. And then on top of that, call each other a family. Like once you come to satsang, it's like you are just a part of the family. So I've always said it's very special, but I just wanted to add that note that we can have these amazing experiences faster together as a collective.
So hi Lexus, how are you?
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of study, homework, that classes. I just want to say, like, you mentioned the 8 limbs of yoga with a 4, but I took a test on yoga yesterday, but I failed. It was 100 questions. Most of it was half Indian and half English, so well, you know which ones I got correct. The other ones I failed, so yeah, I gotta renew the exam.
Hmm. So how's yoga going?
It's getting better. A lot of freedom. Got a lot of freedom and happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, the practice evolves, and practice, I think is the thing. Yeah, as you move along.
Yep.
So Eddie, what would you like to add?
When you mention community, I think of it as being part of this earth experience, and it has some particular advantages, and it's multifold. And you mentioned that there's this coming together as a community to help us in satsang, which expedites our progress along our spiritual path. And, it allows us to have a better experience when we meditate. So that's kind of magical, right? That these souls come together and we harness to manifest greater things by coming together as a collective to help us achieve higher states of consciousness. But then there's our nuclear family aspect. And in that environment, we're given the opportunity to experience life with assistance and love and, forgiveness and not being ridiculed when we make mistakes and all these types of things. And so, that has some positive aspects in terms of our lives and making it more joyful and encouraging us to be better people and to help us achieve spirituality as well by being encouraged and having positive feedback for the things we do. And then there's the aspect that none of us like, but it really is a very important aspect of being a part of the greater society or greater community, and that is the troubles and that we face with other people and even within our own selves. Because one of the big things that Guru Maharaj had mentioned about this system is that we have to develop good characters. So how do you know if you're developing a good character unless you're tested, right? So when we look look around our environment and we interact with other people in our community, we see strife between people, and we see our inability to have good characters or be good people in certain situations. And so, that gives us a heads up that, hey, maybe I need to do some work here. Maybe I need to meditate and go to a satsang so I can sort of cleanse my bad thoughts into clean thoughts. And then I can, hit those deeper states of peace and joy, which is a requirement to reach these higher states of consciousness, such as, samadhi and then the natural state of samadhi, sahaj natural samadhi.
Sahaj samadhi, yeah.
So that's that's the part that we don't like, but I think is very important. It's a part of religions that most people don't necessarily talk about, but it actually is included in their religions. And one of the ones I think about is John the Baptist, and that's what basically he symbolizes. He symbolizes that person that has good character. So in other words, has done the work and has cleansed his thoughts. So now that he has more pure thoughts and he's able to see these higher states of consciousness and achieve what is called Christ consciousness in their religion, but which we just call basically higher states of consciousness, and recognize that there is this peace, happiness, and joy that exists that we have to strive to achieve. While as you said before, many people are stuck in the first realm or the first step of the 5 steps of the pyramid. People like John the Baptist and others who practice this particular satsang, we are familiar. We have some experiences with the 3rd realm and maybe the 4th realm. And so we know that there's something greater. And when you have that consciousness, that your character basically is improving. And, that's an aspect that tells you, hey, this system is working. I want to become a better person because I experienced this joy and happiness when I'm a better person. And that really doesn't happen without the feedback you get by living in this society and interacting with people. So that's another aspect of community. So, it's part of the earth experience, but the good is good and the bad is good. So let's enjoy it all and use it as a catapult to get to where we want to go.
Absolutely. So Lexus, I have shared the YouTube link. I have 3 videos on, some of the definitions on Ashtanga yoga and how satsang relates with Ashtanga yoga. So yeah, have a
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, sure thing. So Rich, how are you doing?
Okay, I'm good. I was waiting for you to call my name, teacher. No, just thinking about what Eddie was just saying. I was about to say when he started talking, or before he started talking, it made me think of confession and going to church on Sundays, right? And so this community feeling that we have twice a week is reminiscent of that for me. And it's always been uplifting, and it always is still, especially in this day and age where I work remotely all the time. I'm all by myself in my house 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot to be gleaned and gained from these kinds of sessions. So for that, I'm grateful.
Yeah, totally. Same here. So any other thoughts before we wrap up today? AC, Michelle, Anita ji.
Namaskar, Bhai Saab. Hello, everybody. Yes, just tying in with the theme we had last time, gratitude. So I'm immensely grateful for this satsang family, the sense of community it brings, and especially the Tuesday evening sessions, which I can't join easily because of my schedule, have been very, very helpful. And I'm really grateful for that, for all of you and Sanjeev ji in particular, for making this possible. Thank you.
Yeah, so.
Thank you, Anita.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Last session, Paula was talking about, how the whole, helping others and helping the veterans and, how through the whole long weekend, how that went. It's all good. Yeah, Lexus.
I just want to say I start summer classes tomorrow, so this actually came in handy. Thank you. Perfect. Right on time.
Perfect. Absolutely. Yeah, I sometimes, the kind of days I'm having at work, I feel this is just a necessity for me these days. So thank you, everyone. And we'll see you all soon. Love, light, and peace be with you. Embody the transcendental energy, uplift yourself, and everybody around you. So take care. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Bye now.